Good morning, guys. Someone is late for his job today. Peter being...
Hi.
Hello. Good morning, guys. Okay, so the question that I'm asking myself today is, did the bearish analysis, I mean, I was warning you, and then ETH sitting at $3,900 BTC, $3,900 in ETH. Did it fail? What's happening? Was I wrong? What's the story there? So I want to unpack that with you guys today. I want to do an update on the altcoins that we've been looking at. So there's a massive list of them. So I'm going to go through all the coins that I've shared and posted over the last weeks. INJ, Sonic, PENGU, Hype, all those coins as well. So that we can just have a good final update of where we are within the weekend. Now, why is this important? Well, simple. One candle can change the entire outlook of a specific trend or an analysis. So it's important for us to just always keep an eye on this and know if we need to change our opinion and or whether we can still hold true to being bearish or bullish. Okay, so if that tickles your fancy, and obviously also know which direction to trade. So if that tickles your fancy, you know what to do. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And if you're new to the channel, say hi. I would love to meet you as well. Let's do this, guys. Okay. Now, good morning, Chris, Vitali. Nice to have you guys here. Mr. Complicated Simpleton. I'm on time from Dreamland. Okay. I hope you have an amazing day, my friend. Okay, so let's get into this. So the argument was when we were here that there was nothing bullish. So basically what I said to you guys, I'm thinking price is going to go here first. And it made sense. And I'm going to quickly explain that. We had a high, we had a low, we had a lower high, we had a lower low, and then we had a complete break of structure. So we swept all these demand zones out, and we went down to support, which lived at around 110. And if I switch the candles back, that's where we were. And then the reason I said we were going to go lower still is because if we look at it this way, we analyze what happened with this massive sell-off. I didn't see any divergence, anything here telling me that it's the end of this wave. Now, yes, traders and us, we looked at going long at the imbalance at around 112 in the Discord. We shorted this. We did a lot of things as well. But in the end of the day, the 4-hour analysis was that favor shorts over longs still. Now, I didn't do a market tactics. And typically, a market tactics is something that I do in the Discord for everybody in the mornings. And it's on the trading side of the Discord. There it is. Okay, so Peter posts the link, and then I'll do a comprehensive rundown of the trend and so forth. So I thought I'll do that together with you guys before we look at the alts, because this is an important thing or a video or information that I think is needed for us for the weekend. So market tactics, it's very simple for us. Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, we're still in the swing sell zone. Now, because it's weekly, we can hover 2 months in this area and still be within the range. So it is not something that we realistically can take on leverage and say, okay, well, I'm shorting BTC because I'm a genius. And it's not me trying to call the top, saying that the top is in. What we do know from the weekly time frame is that $133,000 or $134,500 thereabout cross the red line, and we open the door for Bitcoin to 150. So only unless we get there in this sell zone, move there, that only then allows us to start dreaming big. Now, where do I get this from? Well, simple. When we have strong bearish divergence, and this is statistically proven, okay? So it's not me engineering something for you guys. Statistically proven. When there is strong bearish divergence in the market, so we can replay or rewind the candles up till this point. Okay. So what is strong bearish divergence? Well, price makes a higher high, closes higher. The RSI clearly closes lower. The rule with this is when that happens, you use the closing price for that pivot, that initial divergence, as your support. And you act on this as bullish, not bearish, unless we fall below that level. So I normally use the thou shall not cross line because I want things to remain bullish. I'm betting the market's going to remain bullish. But now, if we start playing through, I'm just going to pause. There's the next candle. This is another week later on. So you can see that we stayed above the pivot, so you remain bullish. But the caution that I would have told anybody, I didn't have a YouTube channel or Twitter page at this stage, okay, is that we've got divergence here, guys. You need to understand that there will be selling pressure entering the market. And if we go past the red line, we dream big. And what happened this time round? You can see, bloops, we went past the red line. And that tells us that there's more to come. Now, this is Bitcoin at 57. We all know it went to almost 70,000, 65, because then it opens the door for more. So then this divergence, even though it's still there, is no longer, a factor. And because we didn't act on this, being, trying to short each and every top, we didn't act on it because we didn't fall below the initial support level. You're in the move, so you don't end up sitting around holding your stable saying, oh, I'm the idiot. I got out too soon. That's the key to this. So if we let this whole thing play out, you'll find that the RSI is going to keep on making higher highs. And when you take notice is when we start falling below that level. So we fell below that level. This is the week that kind of signified, hey, maybe worry. Okay, so what happened? Did we open and close below it? Yes. But then what does the market do? Kind of grinds around. And yet again, this entire sell zone is on the basis of this pullback. Okay. And I'm just going to play this through. Let this thing run through. So you can see now, this time around, we're not staying above the pivot like we did the last time. Now we need to start questioning whether this is the top or close to the top. And we all know how this thing played out. So the one common denominator is divergence by itself means nothing. But once you fall below that level, that's bad. Now, yes, we did have a buyback scenario where the market just went for it again. But yet again, it created more divergence. And this is sometimes the way the market can trap you into. So speed up. Come on, get there, candles. There we go. I'm going to just pause that again. And I'm going to bring the RSI. More divergence. So what's the rule? Whatever divergence pivot you want to use, this one or that one, this is all part of the move. You can scale it to the monthly, and it was roughly that price. Yet again, the rule is, this is the sell zone. And if you fall below that level, you all know the story. Shit's going to get bad. Okay, so now you have a really good idea of what it is. Now, the reason I'm saying for today, top signals weekly, you now understand where it's at. But now this setup, you see this setup, hidden bearish divergence setup. That's a continuation of move setup. That is what I was using for the 4 hour to say that we need to be bearish. Okay, and let's have a look at that. So now I'm just going to take away this and finish the weekly time frame for you guys so that we can have a look at that now. If there's any questions, guys, drop it in. Okay, so here we are. So we've got the same divergence. We're chopping around. We've got the same moves playing out. I'm saying it's bearish divergence, but remain bullish because we've got a simple line. If we go through that support level, the market's going to change its mind very fast. And that typically then will signal a sell-off. So larger time frame, we're good. Now, the 4 hour analysis, this is where we were, is on that same basis now that we have created our divergence. We were trending down. And the question that I'm saying, I mean, it's the headline. Did the 4 hour bear analysis break? And the argument now is still no. Because what we have is once you have a sell-off like this, the market will go and revisit the imbalance, the area where the big move happened. This is where we're at right now. And then potentially go make that lower low to give us that strong bullish divergence. So now is probably the worst time to try go long. If you don't want to short, I agree, then don't short. You have to have conviction for why you want to take the market. But now is the worst time to go long because we do have hidden bearish divergence, which is a continuation of trend. We have not made a higher high just yet. The market is not bullish just yet. And until we do that, until we go above 119, this is the argument and this is the move. Now, what do I have to support this? I explained to you guys that the point and figure, this is my secret weapon. When it creates these gaps, the market will go and refill them. So when we have these gaps in the market, okay, I'll just pause there. So when we have these gaps in the market, the price will go and revisit this range. So we were expecting Bitcoin to go to 118. So it's not like it caught us off surprise. The initial ideas, and that's why I say this is a destination roadmap. The thought was that we were going to do it there and then go to 118. So the fact that we've done this means that either we're going to go and hit this liquidity pocket now at 110, or if we do get a big move, a nice weekend pump, we can have a nice CME gap that gets us in on Monday, because statistically, the CMEs fill the first trading day the most of the time. And then within the first week, the other most of the time. So the data is, excuse my bad English, but the data is there. I've given you guys all the data. I can actually bring that article up. So there's all the data. I did a whole write-up on this. You could go check it out in Medium, guys, about the statistical data of the CME. And 50% of the gaps fall on the first day. So if we do get a pump over the weekend, Monday, there's a 50% chance it gets filled. And then 30% within the next, within that first week. So there's a 70% chance next week, or 80% chance, excuse my bad maths, that we will fill the gap if there is a weekend pump or something crazy. So regardless, even if you're extremely bullish, I don't think you need to try and chase price right now, because we do have the odds playing in our favor that if we break through, we'll come back and test and then continue onwards. Okay, so to answer the question that I'm saying, did the bear analysis fail? No, it didn't fail. From a market tactics point of view, we're in hidden bearish divergence territory. We're statistically where we need to be. Point and figure pointed out that this is the area where liquidity needs to get captured. So we've done all the necessary ticks. So the prevailing trend at this stage is still that of bearish. Okay, so we've not made any higher highs just yet. So unless somebody comes and buys this bugger up and gets us past these levels, statistically, the odds are more in our favor that we're going to go down than up. Okay, so there's the trading thing. So I hope that that helps from a 4-hour point of view. Now, if you're looking at your spot bags and the larger time frame, the daily swings, the spot swings, none of this maybe matters, because Bitcoin can do this, go all the way down to these levels and back, and you might see that your INJ or your Solana just gets a little hiccup, or your ETH for that matter. So let's have a look at those alts. If there's any questions, drop them in the comment section. Mr. DM Photographic is here. Adolfo, good morning to you. Stanku as well, good morning to you guys. So any questions, drop them in the comment section. Yes, there's Peter reminding me, guys, if you want to trade with me, you're more than welcome to do so. Open your Primex BT account using my partner link, okay? Then you'll get deposit bonuses but you'll also get access to my buddy indicator. Now, all you need to do is open a get partner role ticket in my Discord. There it is. Follow the steps that's in there. Send me your user ID, and I'll give you the buddy indicator. Now, let's have a look at this. So the buddy indicator is supposed to be trading in the sense that what would I be looking for? Giving you the analysis from my point of view. What I would be, I'm looking to short this. Now, let's see what the buddy indicator is saying to you. Okay. So firstly, what it does is it overrides the candles when things starts getting bullish or bearish. So when it's orange, you trade the orange setups. When it's bullish, you trade the bullish setups. So the buddy indicator, where we were yesterday, said that this thing is turning bullish. So it is showing signs that it is getting bullish. So at this stage, the buddy would tell you not to short this market. Okay. But Given enough time, once the right candle closes, it could potentially populate a sell signal right there. Okay, and that's something you need to have a look at. Okay, so just that. Also, what the buddy indicator would have done is it would have given you this short, enter between the purple lines, TP1 would have hit. It said try to go long because there's anticipation for the strong bullish divergence between these levels. Maybe you entered, maybe you didn't. And at that stage, you would have been hitting TP1 already. So there's a lot that can happen. Now, if it does look like it's confusing to you guys, very simple. You can filter this thing per trade strategy. Okay. Strong bullish divergence is just going to give you that. Enter there. Now you're saying the bottom is in. It's at TP1 on its way to TP2. Okay. If you're saying we're going to continue on lower, hidden bearish divergence, strat 4. There already one failed, like my short failed as well. And there I'm waiting for the next one to fall. Okay. And all this information, how to use the indicator, how everything sits together, all of that is available in the Discord under the how to use tools. So there you have it, the buddy indicator. Okay. So have a look at that indicator and come trade with me. And then also, obviously, you can trade live in the trade room with me if you do have the partner role. Now, let's have a look at Ethereum. I said I'm going to do that. What does the buddy say about AERO? Yeah, we're going to look at all those things. So let's start with Ethereum real quick. So ETH for me on the 4-hour time frame has now made yet again another higher high. So the analysis is that I was expecting price to go visit these lows, but we're in a 5 wave. So we're trying to get that 5th wave in. And the hope was, and hope still is, that we get that higher high at 4,100. So if we do get that over the weekend, guys, it is almost like the bulls now have taken things past the goalpost, and now they're going to take a breather. So there might be yet again another correction. And what supports that for me at this stage is when I look at ETH to the BTC pairing. Okay, we bring in the RSI. There's your strong bearish divergence living right there. So it's a bullish signal, but as soon as we fall below that, it's bad. Now, I am the chart artist. I draw on this chart, so I'll just do that, and so that you guys can see what I mean. And we need ETH to consistently outperform. We need another leg in before we can say alt season, because ETH still needs to go through that range to delete the hidden bearish divergence there. Now, I'm betting it's going to happen. You're probably feeling exactly the same. But this then means that where we're at right now, if ETH starts losing ground below this level, then the door opens up. So it is looking bullish. It is in the right area. Momentum is there. You've got a clear invalidation level for Ethereum. So yeah, stick it out. Go and trade the long. Play the long game for now, because ETH is definitely looking stronger than Bitcoin at this moment. Okay. What else do we have for Ethereum? The divergence means that any longs you take for ETH, if we fall below 3.8, it's going to reverse. Okay. If we fall below that, it's going to reverse. It's going to go test these lows at 3.5 or whatever the case might be. So you've got a very tight invalidation on Ethereum as well, which is nice. Okay. We had hidden bearish divergence on this. The wave played out, and it didn't make a lower low. This is strong. So this is the beginnings of maybe a correction or a 5 wave to the upside. So let's see. So I'll be long Ethereum, irrespective of my BTC being in a swing short, irrespective of this, because this can chop around. Irrespective of it, this can chop around here over the weekend as well. Doesn't necessarily need to pump, and Ethereum can pump. So the momentum is there. Go long Ethereum. That's my opinion. Now the buddy indicator on Ethereum as well is flashing blue, and it should, let's go and switch on strat 3, should give you breakout entries as well pretty soon. So a breakout is a strat 3 entry, and basically when there's strong momentum like that, it gets you in on the move. Buy between the purple lines, TP1, TP2, TP3. Statistically, when you do have a breakout, that's about as high as it goes, before there's a retrace. Okay, so that's how the buddy indicator works for that on breakouts. Now it's an indicator. It doesn't necessarily hit everything every time, but if you go maybe to a 5-hour time frame there, it changes the analysis there. It gave you 2. So you're always going to switch between the time frames because it's an indicator. And there you have it. So 3-hour time frame. Let's see if there's a breakout setup on the buddy there. I mean, I don't pre-prepare these things. 1 hour probably will have one. There you go. There's the 1 hour. So if you were in the 1 hour time frame for Ethereum, there's your entry between the purple line, TP1, TP2, TP3. It's as simple as that. So it's on you to obviously scan through the time frames, but that's how the buddy indicator works. Understanding what each strategy does and understanding the market structure makes it so much easier than just to have everything on all the time. Once you know this, eventually you'll just have it all on. And makes sense. Okay, so there's Ethereum. More to come probably. And so if we fight this range, any retest to about 3.8, I would try and hit this thing going on higher. Okay, let's quickly have a look at Solana. Solana is now only running into hidden bearish divergence territory. Maybe it does exactly what ETH is trying to do, okay, and try and get that higher high there. So Solana, I would bet the momentum will hold if Ethereum's momentum holds. We're going to try and push there to about 180, 182 minimum. Then if we come back, it's fine. We've now made a higher high in price and in RSI. Then retraces become buy the dip scenarios. Now, yet again, just like ETH maybe being near the end, Solana, you almost want to always let the first one go because you know there's going to be 5 within this wave. Let the first one go, and then you can ride the rest of it, but you can ride it then with a tighter entry, invalidations, more leverage, and so forth. So if this is our last wave, this is now where we're at 1, 2, and we're between 2 and 3 right now, and we're trying to hit this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that final leg in to get the 5 there. If that is the case, this is only the beginning, okay, of where it can go. So I'm bullish Solana, and I was bullish on most of the alts yesterday. I explained to you guys, but maybe not so much so. Okay, Cardano, same thing there. When we look at the analysis, let the first wave go. It's trying to delete hidden bearish divergence. Then there will inevitably be a retrace. So let's say Bitcoin pumps. We get our CME gap. Monday, everything comes down. That would be a really good buy the dip scenario because we want to drive this thing back to $1. Okay, so Cardano looks really good. BNB, it's one of those tricky ones at the moment because we just pushed all-time highs. So the divergence is there, strong bearish divergence. What happens? You stay above the pivot, you remain bullish. So this is BNB. So BNB's got a very tight invalidation. You can literally go long there if you just want to own some. This is now spot ownership of BNB on the basis. And if we can break $1,000, BNB goes into price discovery. And the sky's the limit of how high this can go. I'm betting it's going to do that, So should you. Just always remember, guys, no financial advice. Technical analysis, we're measuring risk. That's all I'm doing. Okay, Link. Link is a prime example of what I'm thinking Solana and Cardano and they will do. It's trying to break the hidden bearish divergence. So it pumps, it needs to get above that line. Link is normally the first mover. So you can argue maybe that's the 1, 2, 3. I don't know if that's the case. But whatever happens here, once we break this, we still have a lot of more legs left because this last wave will probably take us into that area there around $26. So you might have now, with Link being where it's at, missed the bus here, but you haven't missed the bus with any of the other ones. So consider them. They still need to do this, get this massive break. Link will move first. It moved before ETH the last time around. Link is the Oracle on the Ethereum network. All the DeFi, everything that runs uses Link there almost exclusively. So yeah, it's a given that this is going to do well. Okay. I said eyes on Uni. Uni's moving. Uni is deleting the hidden bearish divergence. And exactly the same thing is happening now. Like I said, if this is the beginnings of a 1, we could still chop around here and then have the rest of the move. So keep an eye on this. I've not entered any of the Uni just yet. I'm still expecting that. Now, there's no rule that it has to be there. I mean, but time analysis is statistically, if this is a 1, your 2 will happen there. 3, 4, 5. So let's keep an eye on this one. And the reason I am cautious with uni, but I'm looking at it, is look at this chart, guys. Years of sideways. It's going to pop. And when it does, it's going to go in a big way. Okay. And the nice thing is this accumulation is going up. It's not accumulating like this. Okay. It's a really good coin to keep an eye on. XRP back at $3.30. Crazy. Okay, let's zoom in. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. I hate when I screw up my tools. There we go. Okay, right. It has now deleted its hidden bearish divergence. Amazing. This was the buy zone. Now it's moving on higher. So any retraces back to $3, that's your try to try and get this to this level. It's looking good. XRP is really looking strong. Okay? Now, hyperliquid. This is the other angle now, the flip side. It's done its job. Now it's at resistance with hidden bearish divergence. Statistically, that's what's going to happen. It's trending down. That's why this was buy the dip for more, fall below that level at 42. Now you're expecting this thing to go to support. Just like SUI did, just like HPOD did, and many other coins did as well. Okay. And when we look at PENGU, you see similar charts. So are we holding above the pivot to go make the higher high? Or is this one tired? The rule is very simple. Fall below that line. You don't question this thing anymore. Then we're going to go and fill the target down there. And you need to prepare for that. Just because the market is bullish, these coins have their own little emotional market cycle. Yes, a bullish environment helps them pump. But if there's supply and confidence lost, they will have flash crashes. Maybe not as deep as 15. Maybe it goes to, say, 24 or 2.4 cents, that kind of thing. We'll keep an eye on that. But that's it now. For now, PENGU's bullish. You stay in it, and you've got a clear line. Don't fall below that line. Then it's bad. Okay. I highlighted Mantle beginning of the week. Look at what it did. Now, this is sheer luck. I didn't know that it was going to pump like this, but I highlighted it to you guys, and the chart looked really nice. We were sitting above the divergence pivot. Like I said, as long as we stay above it, expect more. So here's an example of the divergence rule. I'm just going to apply this. Go above that range. It's the same as this level. This is just the trade one, just a little more clutter. Go above that level. And then you start thinking more. So here is where selling pressure happens. This is where support lives. And that's it. So look at it. It's flying. It's flown. Exploded. INJ. Let's have a look at INJ. On its way to delete the hidden bearish divergence. Come on, INJ. You can do it. Okay. We had a good entry. Took some profit. Had another test. Good entry. On its way to try and get to that $18 level. Tau, let's have a look at Tau. This is the one that I think failed, frustratingly so. So it's delete the divergence, and I will say, well, maybe it just needed this. And then I will readjust and reassess. But go do that because it went out of the demand. Okay, so Tau kind of did the opposite. I didn't plan that it's going to do that, but it just did that. So yes, Fetch AI, another one. The argument was we wanted it to stay in this range there. Okay, it went lower still. Doesn't mean it's over. Go and delete the hidden bearish divergence. It clearly lives there. Needs a lot of pump to get there. And then this is just the beginning, guys. Then this is still 1, 2 of what will be 3, 4, and 5 on its way to try and get it to that range. So there's still a lot more upside. You don't have to try and, these are the Fetch AI, Tau. They are scary ones. INJ is a better looking one. Okay. For that matter. What else? What other coins did I share with you guys that we need to go through? Filecoin, Celestia. So for me, those coins at this stage are still hovering Maybe from yesterday something has changed. Let's just do this and make it easy for us to get to the spot pairing, okay, where I charted it. Okay, so when you look at Filecoin, still trending bearish. There's nothing there yet. But once the others have done their pump, this one will have its moment in the sun. There's a massive imbalance. $2 can turn to $4. You can double your portfolio with this one. But just be careful. Wait for the right time. And at this stage, it's not quite the right time for me. So that's the thing with Filecoin. Okay. Then when we look at Celestia, I think I might have TR charted on something else. There we go. It's on Binance. Okay. So same thing there. Look at this. Not yet. They're both in the same book. When they are going to go, TR is going to jump all of this and it's going to go to $4 probably. But it's not there yet. Be patient. Wait for this thing. So Celestia, those ones not there yet. OP is probably a better candidate for that matter. We've broken the trend. We've made divergence, which those doesn't even have. We've locked in a support. We tested it. Okay, we don't have a higher high just yet. Get the higher high. OP, you'll see this thing fly and soar and probably go to about 220 even, for that matter. Massive resistance lives at $1.70 for OP, and it's on the basis, if you look at this thing from a macro point of view, okay? It's still so early. Where's OP's wick? Okay, there. $8 for an OP. That would be nice, okay? ENA at this stage got a hell of a lot of momentum. The notes on this was stay in it, steer the course, nothing worth letting go just yet. And it's still there. Now, what have we done? We've made a higher high, higher low. We're building the beginnings of a new wave. So we can argue that maybe this is a 1, 2, and then we need a 3, 4, 5. It's just an easier way to kind of visually explain what it is I'm seeing and thinking. Okay, so that be the case. And we're now in this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With this being yet again a 1, 2, 3, 4. So now you see how waves within waves start laddering in. So I don't want to overcomplicate this. The invalidation's simple, 51 cents. Where it's at now, you need to stomach a little bit more drawdown. This line doesn't really do a lot. It just gives consumer confidence. Stay above that stupid line and everybody thinks it's going to keep moving. But a shakeout could still see things like that go. Okay, so just don't let this line govern your rationale. It's just pointing that everything is still going up. So it's up, but doesn't mean that it can't go and test that range. Okay, so that's ENA. Aerodrome or AERO. I keep on saying Aerodrome. AERO. It's trying to delete its hidden bearish divergence. Went to support, and it bumped now from yesterday. Look at this thing. 18% in a day. Come on, that's amazing. If it's fast, it won't last, guys. So, it's one of those things. I would sell a little bit. Take some profit, okay? Because it will come and test support again and then go on further. Bank some dollars in there. Because what if we're wrong? What if this divergence plays out and makes a lower low? Then you've given back all of this. So where you're at right now, just take a little bit, okay, from the analysis. Just take a little bit, okay? Simple as that. Let's see what else we have. Good morning, guys. Can you chart APTOS? I can probably have a look at APTOS. 34 minutes in. This will be the last one for today. Let me just make sure I've done all my homework first before I do this. We've looked at TAO, we've looked at OP, we've looked at ENA. Notes on everything, guys, is in the Discord or on my Twitter page. So you can always just follow there. We looked at PENGU, Sonic. We haven't looked at Sonic. So I was saying to you guys, this thing's trending down, and it looked really good because we were trying to stay above the support level. We fell through. We jumped on the axis a couple of times. You know why these lines are so significant? Because there, you can see the evidence is there. We're trying to reclaim this, which is really good, but need to make a higher high. Go and do something to tell me that you want to hold. So for now, I won't just, I'm not going to try and buy the dip so that somebody else can buy the better dip. Wait for this thing to stop, and then we all buy a dip. That means that it's going to go up. And that's just my opinion on this one. But I would stay away from that one. Okay. NEWT was our money maker the other day. We made a nice killing on NEWT. Went to the 50% level, just like the other ones. It's back at support. Binance is pushing this hard. It's got a lot of marketing behind it. It's going to go higher again. This is a really good time to start accumulating some NEWT, purely just from a accumulation point of view. Because what's going to happen is if we stay above this level, your invalidation simple 31. Start trading below that. It's going to turn into a price discovery to the downside. It's going to be a bearish coin. Okay, stay above that level. Really good area because you can easily then do exactly the same trade. Go and double your money. Double your money. And then potentially go on higher still. Okay, so I really like NEWT. Keep an eye on NEWT. A new kid on the block that did really well, meme core. We're back in and we're holding support. Remember now, this is that divergence scenario. We need to test this range, and we're in that right now. So I'm buying some meme core. And the argument is very simple. If you look at any of these lows, let's say that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What needs to happen? Between 2 and 4, we need hidden bearish divergence. There you go. It's all there. So nobody wants to buy hidden bearish divergence because hidden bullish divergence because shit looks bearish at that stage. It's the same as the opposite of me going short here when things clearly look bullish. That's the trick in the market. That's the thing with hidden. Okay. So we can still do this short term, just like we can do this a little bit longer term for meme core. So just keep an eye on that. Invalidation lives at 34 cents. Okay. Another banana coin that I have my eye on is VENOM. And I need to go to larger time frames just to show you guys that. What are we doing? We're stepping up levels. The continuation is there. If it falls to this, it's a very tight stop. We could potentially chop around and create like an early version of AERO. See there, AERO. Okay, same thing. And look at where this thing's going to go. 78 cents. This has a 3x potential. So keep an eye on that. Now, guys, I share more. I do more in the Discord. If ever you want more, you can go and have a look at that. And a while ago, I explained to everybody I will properly start a signal service, Bybit and Blowfin for those that have those affiliate links. Not much have been done in that group, I know. And we've now got to a point where we've got more momentum. Okay. And now these groups are going to start kicking up. There's a lot going to happen there. So make sure that you do have your links. Get that role in the Discord so you can join these groups, because I'm going to be tracking the price there. You're going to have all the information, whether it's a scalp, a swing, a spot, whether it wins, loses, and closes. Okay, so everything is in there. So you can come and join me at no cost. Just get a trade with me on the exchange. As simple as that. Okay. Now, Stefan is reminding me, Rudo, before you say buy and bugger off, please do APTOS. That's basically what that means. Am I correct, Stefan? Yeah, that's what that was. That was an APTOS. Seriously, you should have added some emojis there. Okay, let's do that. I want to have a look at APTOS. Why is this? It's a really big deal, this one, to be honest with you, because when the bear market started, guys, this was one of those airdrops that had an insane amount of traction to it. Okay. So let's say KuCoin is normally quick to launch this. And what have I done and said many times now in the stream already? I shared this with NEWT, goes to the 50, comes back to the support, goes to the 50 minimum again. So APTOS has done this now a couple of times. So I like this because it's now basically, Stefan, thanks. You've proven my point. okay, for some of these coins. Okay, past results does not guarantee future outcomes, but statistically it just makes sense. So where we're at right now with APTOS is almost, I don't want to touch it, to be honest with you, because we've now gone and filled this. We've trapped enough people at the bottom. Now, this is weekly time frame. What we can do, though, is look at this structure to see what it's doing. Now, we're making lower highs, lower lows. So on the weekly, this thing is trending bearish. So spot ownership of those kind of things, I'm not touching this. Okay, 4 hour. Let's quickly see where the trend is if it wants to change. So the 4 hour, what we have at this stage is yet again, obviously the weekly highs and lows are still living in there. And it's almost like Sonic to a point. It's trying to lock in this $4.20. And I would say go and delete hidden bearish divergence, which is there, just like with most of these alts. Go and delete it. Then there will be an imbalance because it's fast, it won't last, okay? There will be an imbalance. So it could potentially go to about $5. Then we can argue that this is a potential first wave, because we'll do it in a 5-wave structure. Then we can argue that. And if that is the case, then there's a lot of tools that we can use, like the time fib zone, to kind of time when the entry's in. I don't mind paying more for it if I know it's going to go up, or probabilities is that it's going to go up, as opposed to try and get it as cheap and then it keeps on dipping, because this is expensive buying. Because only one guy got that. I promise you that. One guy was so lucky out of everybody that's holding this thing. And maybe, he didn't even take profit. So at this stage, you sold at break even. You can be lucky in the market as well. So we don't want to use luck as part of our strategies. So for this one, I would just say, wait. Okay, so I hope that kind of puts that into perspective for you guys. 42 minutes in, there's a lot been said, a lot been charted. I will try and get all the charts for you guys in the community, in the discussion channel. So if you want me to post the chart, more than welcome to do so. Just ask for it here, like DC, and I will drop the charts for you guys. I'm not just going to throw everything in there if everybody's got the info already. If you need it, just let me know. I'll post it in there for you. Let's close off for the week. What is the idea for the weekend? The 4 hour, obviously, for Bitcoin is bearish. There's a short going on there and. The CME gap that we had got filled. And if we have a weekend pump, we could come back and test this. That would be amazing. If we consolidate and test the bottom 110, it would almost make the next pump stronger for Bitcoin. Now, which is going to happen next, I don't know, but you have to guard against that. And we know that alt season works as follows. Bitcoin moves, Ethereum starts moving, and the large cap. So just because Bitcoin doesn't look that bullish doesn't necessarily mean that your alts are going to dump, because in order for the dominance to really do what it needs to do, start going into the alts favor, you need a weakish Bitcoin and alts strong. The alts are currently at strong levels. Bitcoin is currently showing weakness. The bubble is still there. Our bull market bubble is still there. It's showing signs it's wanting to shift over to Ethereum. It's showing signs that it wants to start moving over to the alts. And that's a good thing. Okay. So that's everything for me for today, guys. You have a lovely weekend. Enjoy some time away from the charts as well, because when things go crazy, that will be the time for us to spend a lot of hours looking at these things. So now we can still rest. Let the first move go. If you're not in the market, if you're in the market, I've given you clear support resistance levels so that if it goes below it, something is critically wrong. Okay. You need to act, cover the risk, and so forth. And as always, you know where to find me in Discord, on Twitter, wherever. I'm everywhere there. So that's it. Vitali, nice to have you live. Kilian, nice to have you. Buy a donkey. Nice to have you here as well. And for the rest of you guys, have a lovely weekend. Cheers.